You did different interpretation, right?
Oh yeah, you should explain.
Yeah, that's what I just realized. So I think Marcus and I both went with, after you eat things, you become kind of a hybridized version. I sort of assumed that, like, based on how much you ate and, like, how long you've been eating and stuff like that, you'd get, like, more traits from the things you ate, is kind of how I interpreted it.
Oh, so you can become like a Frankenstein monster of the animals that you want.
Right, exactly. So, like, you can eat a few things and get some of, like, all the different, like, abilities and stuff.
So you, like, never become the full animal.
Right, yeah. You will always be predominantly human.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're going to have to eat humans once again. Let's not go down that road. So, with regards to sports, there's a lot of obvious, like, things they'll bring up. Like, oh, you know, go, like, hunt a cheetah or something to be fast. Or not necessarily a cheetah, because they're, I think, endangered. But, like, eat fast things to be faster. Eat strong things to be stronger. That's all boring. I wanted to get into some more specific things. So the first thing I thought about was the pitchers in baseball. Like, there has to be some way, something you could eat that could make yourself be, like, a better pitcher, right? Turns out, no, actually. Fun fact, throwing things is actually a very human thing. We're actually evolved to throw things much better than any other animal.
I mean, I guess we're the only ones that have, like, opposable thumbs, so only ones that can hold stuff.
Well, not even that. I actually, Ben, it's funny too, because I also ended up in the sports area.
That's hilarious.
Which we'll get to. But I had the same thing, like, big arms. And I was like, gotta get some gorilla arms. And they're strong as fuck. But they can't throw things. Their shoulders are wrong.
Well, and apparently also, like, we're evolved to have, like, shorter fingers and shorter hands, which are just, like, and, like, the wrist actions we can do are just, like, all, like, vital to be able to, like, accurately throw things. And other animals
For
just
jerking off better.
can't. Exactly, right? And other animals just can't do it. And, like, there's a study in 1975 that had chimpanzees throw 44 objects. I'm very sad I could not find a list of the 44 objects. I am so sad.
What?
There must be a list somewhere.
I could not find the actual, I can only find references to the study, not the actual study itself. And I was so sad, because it sounds like so much fun. But they only managed to hit their targets 5 times, and all of those were from within 2 meters.
Wow.
That's pretty far off.
And if you were to think of, like, an animal that would be able to throw something close to us, it would probably be like a chimpanzee, right? Like, if they can't do it, like, we don't have much of a chance here. So, actually, it turns out, I think that pitchers, what I've realized here is that eating basically any animal is going to make you worse at throwing things.
Oh, no.
So, pitchers, and actually, you know, pitchers, and then probably also, like, basketball players, should probably be mostly, like, vegetarian/vegan. Because if you start taking on animal traits, it's a very real possibility that you just become a worse thrower, and that's pretty bad for both of those sports.
But plants can't throw either.
Plants can't throw. That's true. You're going to be a little stiff.
Big plants can't jump.
You're going to be a little stiff. However, and I did not go too far down the basketball path, because that one, it may still make sense to do your other animals just for, like, the other athletic benefits and stuff. But for pitchers specifically, so pitching is kind of an endurance thing too. You know, because you're out in the sun and it's beating down and you're out there for a long time and got to stay fresh. And I realized if you're part plant, you are photosynthesizing. So if you're outside and it's a sunny day, you are generating energy as you are pitching. So in theory, you could actually go longer.
Well, how much energy you generate, Ben? Because, like, I don't know if a pitcher just munched down on some granola bars while he's going about his game is going to do that much better.
I mean, you're right. But silver linings, Marcus.
silver linings. It's just like, I guess I'm a green pitcher, slightly better.
Right. We're all the Jolly Green Giant.
You need every edge you can get in baseball.
Exactly.
And baseball is a sport that has been, you know, classically decided by the person in the top physical fitness category. It's really the most important factor.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally. It's not like there's currently a pitcher who weighs like 260 pounds or whatever Bartolo Colon weighs right now.
Also, I don't remember. Did you say that in your situation that this is happening to everyone, or is it just you?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Yeah, I assume this is just a global thing. This happens to everyone.
But the Red Sox still only have one pitcher, and it's going to be you if you can just get the right snaps.
Right, yeah. It's all about them leafy greens. So the other thing I really looked at, and this is something, honestly, part of the reason that I went down the sports path was to bring up this. So with regards to, say, boxing, are either of you familiar with the mantis shrimp?
Yes, the mantis shrimp is part of my answer too.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So we're gonna have a little bit of overlap
going.
here. But so the mantis shrimp, for those who do not know, one, not actually shrimp technically. They are apparently stomatopods, which are distant relatives of crabs, lobsters, and shrimp. They're anywhere from like a little under an inch to a little longer than a foot. They sort of get divided into two categories. They're smashers and spearers. So spearers have spears on the end of their arms. Smashers have like clubs. And stomatopods, basically in their arms, they have effectively like, they're basically like springs that they can compress using this like contracting muscle and then latch and just like store that energy to release all at once when they're ready. Which for the smashers, which is what we care about here for boxing, they can punch at 75 feet per second.
Whoa.
As a point of comparison, heavyweight fighters have an average punch speed usually of around 35 feet per second, max of like 45. So we're talking double the like speed there. So they actually punch so fast. Oh, and by the way, also that 75 feet per second is underwater because they're aquatic creatures, obviously. So that's with water resistance as well. They're actually punching so fast that the low pressure it causes, this process called cavitation, causes these little bubbles to form that then like immediately collapse, which release energy in the form of heat and light that briefly heat the water around it to about 8,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, they literally like implode the ocean just like when they punch.
And then so when they punch, not only does their very fast moving little like club hit their target, there's a shock wave that's formed from that collapse that follows behind the punch and also hits the target immediately afterwards.
They're the one punch man of the ocean.
Yeah, basically. But they also have two of these arms, so it's kind of like the four punch man, or two punch and also two like pressurized jets of superheated air. So I figure that being able to punch hard enough to like, you know, so these guys are strong enough with these punches to like sever the limbs of like crabs they're fighting. So I think that's probably a pretty decent thing for a boxer to be able to, you know, get a little bit of that juice going.
Do they have like videos of them doing this? Because I want to see this.
Yes, and they are amazing. Definitely look them up. Yeah, it's
pretty sweet.
So obviously, you know, that punching ability is going to be very nice for boxers.
Well, does it make boxing better as a sport?
Maybe. We don't know. We don't know until we try.
I mean,
there's gonna be better TV moments when someone's fucking head goes into, you know, roll 38C,
well, yeah.
seat 7.
And yes, you inherit the good punching, but you also have to be underwater, right?
And a bit. I mean, I think
you don't eat the heads; you just eat the arms.
I think you will have, you know, some gill action, but also like I think you eat a little bit and you control yourself, you know, so. You still keep your conditioning like above ground or above water, but you get some of that punching. There is one other downside of the mantis shrimp. Well, possibly downside, possibly upside. So the mantis shrimp has some very interesting vision. So humans have 3 kinds of photoreceptors in their eyes. There's like a red one, a green one, a blue one. Some animals have a 4th one that lets them see ultraviolet light. I think some animals even have like a 5th one that's a second ultraviolet one.
Yep, eagles got that one.
Eagles got that one. There we go. Mantis shrimp actually have 12 different kinds of photoreceptors. 8 of them for the part of the spectrum that we can see, and then 4 more for the ultraviolet part of the spectrum.
And 2 more pick up basic cable.
Yes, yeah. Well, one's for HBO, but, you know.
That only the rich crabs get that one.
Right, yeah.
The rich shrimp.
So you might be thinking that, like, wow, so they must just, like, see all these crazy colors and stuff. Well, it turns out they're actually worse at distinguishing colors than humans are. About 3 times worse, it turns out. There's a scientist did a study. I read the methodology for this study, because I know you're going to ask, how the fuck do you figure out how well a shrimp can determine colors? They basically did something where they had, like, fibers. They got them to... I don't remember how it worked. They basically, like, altered the color of fibers to see when they could stop telling the difference, is kind of what they were doing. And then from there, we were able to figure out, like, the range or like their ability to distinguish colors.
How do they determine if the shrimp is successfully telling the difference?
Well, they put food behind it or something, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like if they hit it, they got like fed or something. I don't remember how it worked exactly. There was some reward for like hitting it, I think. All of this part is somewhat speculative because we have no idea. So fun fact, we don't actually know how they see, because what they've realized is that basically their eyes don't work anything like the way ours do. Because the way that most animals like use their eyes, use those photoreceptors, is they basically work comparatively. So if they're looking at something, they'll see like how much red light is there and how much green light is there and how much blue light is there. And from there figure out like, well, if there's a lot of red and no green and blue, it must be a red thing. If there's a lot of red and blue and no green, it must be a purple thing. Things like that. Mantis shrimp apparently don't do that. All the data just gets dumped directly into their brain. And as far as they can tell, they have like effectively like a lookup table in their brain that's just like, this combination of these 12 inputs means this.
Means fish.
Yeah, like, well, but what's crazy is that apparently it means that they can actually react to visual stimuli like insanely fast because there's absolutely no processing. Which makes sense because they punch over the course of like 3 milliseconds. So that's how they're able to actually track their prey and, you know, aim a punch that quickly, is because they have these insane eyes that apparently just like automatically see things. The one downside, which you're probably saying that this could be useful for sports, right? Being able to like immediately process visual information. That would be useful. The one downside is that obviously human brains don't work that way. You might just go crazy if you suddenly get like all this just raw visual data. I have no idea how a brain would interpret that.
I can only imagine it like the Matrix. I just have the picture of the Matrix screen coming up.
Right,
in my head.
yeah, basically.
That's only one color, though. That's only green.
Yeah, that, but like every color you know, and also about 80,000 you didn't until this exact moment. So yeah, so boxers, I'm assuming, would try to get on that good, you know, good, sweet punching action. There might be some side effects, which I feel like there might be some side effects as kind of the running theme of any of these, you know, eat thing to become thing situations.
So you just made the sport much better, because before it was just like, oh, whoever lands the first punch murders the other person,
right,
and the match is over. Now you have two completely blind boxers just punching around at random.
So I can't decide if they're completely blind or if effectively just like hallucinating. And either one is pretty great.
It'd be entertaining to watch. I would watch it.
It'll be very entertaining to watch.